Good afternoon, everyone. It's match day. It's Wednesday afternoon. Welcome back to the Magnificent Mags channel. I hope you're all doing well. Wow, what a final league phase match day we'll have tonight away to Paris Saint-Germain, the European champions. It's a rematch of some sort of the 2023-24 campaign when we played them home and away, except this time, obviously, it's just away. And who can forget that campaign, honestly? I know it was the only win out of the 6 games before the format changed, but yeah, that 4-1 win, it's still probably the best atmosphere I've ever been in. And my first games were in the early 90s, so that's saying something. And then we went there in November, and it's still controversial, still annoys me to this day. Look, PSG battered with that night, but we got a goal through Isaac, and then we clung on, and I just felt the only way they're getting something here, they weren't scoring from open play, was getting a penalty. And lo and behold, 98th minute, it bounced, I believe, off Tino Livramento's shin onto his elbow. It was never a penalty, but then it cost with 2 points, and then I think it affected we're going into the final game against AC Milan. I'd love to say we've got a couple of scores to settle tonight, but I'm going to be realistic at the start, the outset of this little video. I don't think we're going to get the win tonight. As optimistic as I want to be, I'm not worried about tonight, and I'll explain that. If you're wondering where I am, just finished work. I'm just down by the banks of the River Tyne. It's a beautiful afternoon here. Yeah, and the sun's actually out. Over there, you can probably just see the fog in the distance. That's Dunstan. Then beyond it is Sunnyside and Wickham, and in between those two is the Watergate Forest Park. You want to know why I'm not worried about tonight? Well, I'll say a few things. Firstly, PSG concede a lot of goals. They've scored 20 goals in this campaign so far, but they've conceded 10. Now, I believe they are unbeaten at home in the league, but they're not in all competitions because Bayern Munich went there and they won 2-1, and they lost to their neighbours, quite literally their neighbours, Paris FC, 1-0 recently in the Coupe de France. They've got 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats out of their last 6 games, and we've got 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 defeats, all competitions obviously. But yeah, like I said, they're quite literally their neighbours. Their stadium is right next door. It's even better than Dundee and Dundee United, who are down the same street from each other. These are literally right next door. It's like opening your front door and going hi to your neighbour. Not invincible, as I've just said. They've scored 20 goals, but they've conceded 10. And the home games, they beat Atalanta 4-0, they lost 2-1 to Bayern Munich, and then they beat Spurs 5-3. So it shows they do concede goals despite all their attacking talent. Obviously, the worries tonight are playing Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, and also Ousmane Dembele. Their threat is going to be so much pace in attack, and that's a lot to contend with. But why do I not feel worried about tonight? Because the minimum expectation for us this season in the Champions League was getting to the playoff round. That's just progress. That's what it is. See if we can get progress to get to the next phase for the first time. And we've done that. Whatever happens tonight, barring losing by double figures, we can't drop below 16th in the playoff round. That means the second leg around the 24th, 25th of February would be at home, which is massive because we've just seen in the League Cup when we played City at home. Like tonight is not impossible. Everyone's writing off, but this is what I mean. We'll go there because whatever happens tonight, we're in the playoff round, and then we'll see who we'll get. I've not looked at the permutations or what our route could be or who would get. We've achieved that, and we'll be at home second leg. And as well, the pressure is all on them. Paris Saint-Germain are holders. So the pressure, they have to win tonight because they lost their last game in Lisbon to Sporting 2-1. So they have to win as well tonight, because if we get any type of positive result, they could also drop outside the playoffs. Now, look, I'm not saying they couldn't get beyond the playoffs, but as holders, there's a lot of pressure on you as holders. So PSG have got a lot to play for tonight. But look, I'll be honest, I think they're going to win probably 3-1. But look, the pressure is all on them. I think we can go there and just try and play a good game tonight. I know there's been a lot of frustration after the Villa game at the weekend. We were poor. We didn't open them up enough. There wasn't enough risks, as I said in my last video. We're a little too static, a little too passive. We were badly missing Bruno. But the good news is, despite the 3-hour delay with their flight to Paris because of the storm, thankfully, as you can see, it's been minging here on Tyneside for the last week. We've had a lot of rain and dark skies. Tonight, I still think we'll lose. Look, because I'm being pragmatic. Will we win at PSG? Because they did batter with there when we last played there. But we clung all to the end, and it did feel like a defeat because it went all the way to the 98th minute before Mbappe scored. But they're more of a team these days, as it's been shown under Luis Enrique. Since Mbappe went and all the spotlights off him, PSG, when they had Messi, Neymar and Mbappe, it was the Mbappe show in the end. Like all the image rights and that he gets, like it should be about the team. And I think that's why they didn't achieve too much like outside of their domestic league. But now he's went, they've become European champions for the first time. So it just shows now he's gone, the more of a team, and they look so much better. But they only scraped through in last season's new format, but then they knocked out a lot of English teams en route. I believe Spurs and Liverpool were included in that before they won it. So it shows, yeah, they've progressed massively as a team. And speaking of the team, what do I think the team will be tonight? Well, if you were checking out my socials before, you'll have seen that I did post it. Now, I know I could go 5 at the back tonight, and that would allow more freedom for Bruno and the likes of Tonali to get forward. I've given a hint of who I think will play right there. But yeah, I think Eddie Howe will stick to the 4-3-3. Look, no fear. Go there, give it your best. If we lose, we'll lose. It's no shame in losing to PSG. Now, the team I think I'll get on to it. Nick Pope will keep his place in goal. 3 of the back 4 taken care of. In Lewis Hall left back. Sven Botman, Malik Chow. Now, right back, because Joe Linton's missing, I think that he will play Lewis Miley there. And that's because, despite how important he is, and I think he might be better being kept for Liverpool at the weekend, and he's obviously just travelled with a squad, I think Bruno will play tonight, because we saw at the weekend we're now 11 games without a win when he's been missing, and that's 6 draws and 5 defeats. I nearly forgot there. So yeah, with Bruno being there, I think Bruno will have to play tonight, because look, this game isn't a complete write-off. We've got a minuscule chance of getting something there. Draw might be enough. I still think we'll lose, but look, you can't completely write tonight off. You never know what will happen. You never know. You never know in football what might happen. Who would say Greece would have won Euro 2004? They said Wigan would have won the 2013 FA Cup. Or Swansea when they won the League Cup, or Bradford getting all the way to the final of the League Cup. Football can throw up some strange things. So yeah, you can't completely write it off tonight, but I think it will be, like I said, Pope, Miley to contend with their pace, because Trippier have played 4 games in 11 days if he plays tonight. With his age, it's not his fault, but it takes longer to recover when you're older, and he hasn't got the pace. And their front 3 are rapid. So I think you have Miley in there, because Miley's proven he's more than adept at playing right back. So I'd have Miley there. Like I said, Pope, Miley, Chow, Botman, Hall. Midfield would be Bruno and Tonali. And then I'd bring in Jacob Ramsey. He's shown at the weekend, yes, he didn't track Ollie Watkins when it came to the second goal, but look, I'll say this, he's getting a bit more confidence, he's dropping in those little pockets of space, and he's using the ball well. So Ramsey, then a front 3, hit pace with pace, Anthony Elanga on the right, Anthony Gordon on the left, because he actually turns up in Europe. As he said as much yesterday in his press conference, that he loves this competition, just got a magic about it. Then I'd play Yohan Wissa. Now, Yohan Wissa came off, and I think he'd still be fit enough to start tonight. And if, which they couldn't do on Sunday, they can find these runs, like Anthony Elanga, which they didn't do for both players, I'd play Yohan Wissa, Elanga to the right and Gordon to the left. Because Barnes, in my opinion, I know he's put a couple of good crosses in, maybe got an assist at some time or other, but look, Barnes is wasted, in my opinion, on the right. So use him as an option off the bench, because he has played a lot of games recently. So that would be my lineup. And the scoreline, I've already said, I do think PSG will win. But look, go there with no fear, make a fist of it, and if you lose, there's no disgrace in it. We're in the playoffs minimum. I know it's 2 extra games, but tonight is a very, very hard ask away at the European champions. And then we'll go into Saturday's game at Anfield. But that's it from me for now. I'm going to head home, and I'm going to get sorted. Wherever you're watching the game, whether it's Paris or here, enjoy, and I'll see you in my post-match reaction tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.